Welcome to Connect Canyons, a podcast sponsored by Canyon School District. This is a show about what we teach, how we teach, and why. We get up close and personal with some of the people who make our schools great. Students, teachers, principals, parents, and more. We meet national experts too. Learning is about making connections. So connect with us.
Since 2022, the Emmy Award-winning Netflix series Love on the Spectrum has become a popular topic of conversation, achieving a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The fourth season debuted this April and features a familiar face from right here in the Canyons community. Welcome to Connect Canyon. I'm your host, Francis Cook. Joining me today is Canyons alum Emma Miller and her mom, Liz. Thank you both for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Emma, I would love if you would just start by telling us about your time at school here. Where did you go to school? What was it like? I hear you were kind of a popular kid.
Since my grandparents went on a mission in Japan, we moved to Cottonwood Heights and we bought their house, and I went to Park Lane for about a year.
Nice.
You know, it was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
You know, one of my teachers read us Roald Dahl books a lot, so
I love Roald Dahl.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I went to middle school in Mount Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah. But I went to Crescent View technically for 2 years because like Mount Jordan was getting rebuilt at the time. So yeah.
She got both the old and the new experience.
Yes.
Nice.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then you're a Bengal, is that correct?
Yes, that is right.
Nice. And Canyons you mentioned your grandparents. Canyons is kind of a family thing.
Oh yeah. My mom and my aunt and uncles went there.
Nice.
So.
And your grandma used to work at Brighton.
Yes, she did.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was the secretary.
You just walk in the front office. Hi, Grandma.
Yeah.
That's
much.
so cool. Do you have any favorite teachers or mentors who stood out? I mean, obviously your grandma. We have to give her a shout.
Of course. Shout out to Grandma Sue. One of my teachers was named Mrs. Rogers. She was amazing. Like you know, she made reading the Roald Dahl books so fun because she did a lot of voices with that, and which made it a lot more fun. I had a teacher from England. Her name is Miss Dawn from middle school. She was awesome. Like, oh my gosh, she had so many stories, and I loved to hear them all. It was awesome.
I love when the teacher kind of makes it personable, right? You get to know about them. You feel like you build this relationship.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's awesome. So you went to school here as well, Liz, is that correct?
I'm a Bengal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got like a Bengal legacy family going on.
Yeah, we do. I'm proud Bengal. I enjoyed my time at Brighton High School, and I feel like my kids have all had good experiences there. Youngest, Cameron, graduated.
So congratulations. And that's your youngest?
Yeah.
So empty nesters soon?
Okay, like the kid, like they're that college stage where they're kind of out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Using mom and dad's washer and dryer, eating your food.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the extra fun part.
Okay.
Love on the Spectrum. It's been in the U.S. for a couple of years now, but how did you learn about it?
So my mom is like a show watcher. She tells me about Love on the Spectrum. She's like, "Oh, Emma, we should watch this. Oh, Emma, we should watch this." You know? And so we started watching it because the first one we watched was in Australia. So we watched the Australian version first.
You went OG.
Yeah, we went OG. Yeah, exactly. And then we watched it, and then my mom's like, "Emma, if they knew about you, they would have you." And then surprise, foreshadowing. That was a bit of a foreshadowing, and then surprise, I was on it, and it's crazy.
How do you even apply? Do you apply? Do you audition? How do you do that?
Okay, so here's how it went. Okay, my school, Scenic View, shared a post about Love on the Spectrum and how they're casting people in Utah. So Mom saw the post, and then she's like, "Emma, we should do this." And I kept begging her. And I'm like, "Mom, are you going to do this? Mom, are you going to do this?" And so when I went to my grandmother's house for Super Bowl Sunday, Mom Grandma Sue.
Love Grandma Sue.
Yeah. she like typed in an email. She wrote in an email to them, like kind of like about my personality and like how I would be a good addition, something like that. And then they got back to us so fast.
Oh, wow.
And we had to send a picture too.
And they were instantly like, yep,
Mm-hmm.
we need Emma.
Well, I think she's pretty. Like,
Yeah.
that helped.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that may have gotten her foot in the door.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
Looks good on camera.
Yeah, it's true.
And
That's true.
It helps that you're so you have this bubbly personality too.
True.
It's just infection.
they wanted to interview her right away.
Okay.
I told them that she was at her school during the week, and so they interviewed her. So I sent the email on Sunday. They emailed me back Tuesday, wanted to interview her on Thursday.
Wow.
So her service coordinator down there helped her with the first interview. And I remember because I teach preschool, and I was like, I knew it was happening. So I checked my email on my lunch break, and there was an email from them. But we couldn't see her really well. We interviewed with her on the weekend when her house, and then, because I think I told them that on the weekend. And I was like, sure, we could do that. And so they interviewed us on Saturday, not next,
Okay.
like less than a week.
Less than a week.
And the next week, they sent another email. We would like to move to next steps. Ken and Sean are going to come to your house in 2 weeks. And I didn't really know who they were.
Wow.
I didn't know who they were. I didn't know like two big people in the
Right.
industry were coming to my house.
Because you don't see Kian. You know,
Yeah.
if you watch
Don't.
the Australian one, they don't break that fourth wall like
No.
they do on the US one, and you hear Kian's voice in the background. But unless you have the subtitles on, half the time you don't know it's Kian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 weeks later, or about 2 weeks later,
Mm-hmm.
they came to see you and did a little pre,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they met Emma.
And they met me, and they met my roommates and
Mhm.
everything. My roommates at the time, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's you. You're the person."
Yeah, and then they came to the house right after and met with us. They were really nice. I remember I talked about her showcases, Scenic View, and how they were like the best part of my life. They become one of the best things that I do in life. Been down there.
And these are, you sing, you act.
Performs.
Mhm.
And they really just, what was so great about Scenic View is they just let Emma be Emma.
Yeah.
And it was so great. And they just let her pretty much do anything. So like the first one that we went to, she performed Kuna Matata. Love that with
Mhm.
friend. And it was funny because she was Pumbaa and her friend was Timon. And I was like, why is Emma Pumbaa with little skinny leg?
Right.
I was like, oh, she wanted to do the voices.
Well, I mean,
And they totally just,
yeah.
you go, you do. And she did all these cute voices.
You're really good at voices.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like,
Yeah.
your Donald Duck impression is spot on.
That took me like 2 months to get down, actually.
You did it.
You know?
I think we need to let our listeners hear it. So they let you just kind of
Yeah.
showcase who you are and what you enjoy.
Yes. They don't hide the performing side of me because that's like a big part of who I am, you
Yeah.
know? It's like without performing, I don't know. It's like crazy.
Like I said, I wrote in Super Bowl Sunday, so that's mid-February. Our first filming day was last April, like April 3rd.
Wow.
So it was so fast. And so we got really nervous. Like, to do this? Are we going to be representing our community well? Are we going to be representing our church well? Are we going to, because
Yeah.
you just have to think about all those things. Like,
Yeah.
do I really want millions of people in my house? And really, like, that has kind of continued on because it kind of thrusts you into social media.
Right.
Strong opinion who these people are that they've seen. We really had to decide if that was something that we want. We had to decide.
That's a big decision.
The way I came like Emma was totally great. Like I am
She's ready. Let's go. Can we handle this to be great?
But just watching the show, what I did is I rewatched the show and I paid real close attention to how they treated the family. And I was like, this is a very kind show. And this is doing great things for autism. It is bringing great awareness. Because I think anyone really, those of us who have kids know this and about this, or people who are autistic think about the challenges for this population. Loneliness is a big thing for people on the spectrum. Also, like jobs. And that has really come to light after being on the show. I met a lot of people. And like employment is a big problem for people on the spectrum. Jobs. There's just a lot. And like kids that are high on the spectrum, like Emma, like she always had like a normal IQ. Like on IQ tests, she always tested normally, but like adaptively, her skills weren't in that good rate. And it's a challenge to find things that are great for them. One of the reasons we wanted to be on the show is because I was like, I think we can do this. Me as a parent, someone on the spectrum that is like Emma, who is high cognitively, has tons of potential.
Yeah.
Needs those extra supports. I'm like, if I was a parent watching a show like this, I would be real interested in the kind of service that exists for adults.
And the businesses that support them.
And Scenic View, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Scenic View has been so amazing. They have embraced who she is. They let her be funny. They let her do all our voice. They really let her shine. And I just felt like this was such a special program that we just kind of had to take one for the team.
Yeah.
It's great for the most part.
I think that awareness aspect of it is such a big part as well. I was doing some research before the podcast and found on CNN that really there's just this ginormous lack of awareness because there haven't been studies done on autism. The first U.S. study for adults with autism wasn't published until 2020. And if you think about that in terms of all of the other aspects of our lives that we dig so deeply into, it's like, why are we not looking at this? Because the spectrum isn't, A to C. It's A to Z, right? Like you said, Emma, you're high functioning autism, but some people aren't. Yes. And there's everyone in between.
Yeah.
So it is really great to see that we're starting to have these schools. We have Life Skills Academy here in Canyons that's similar. They're not live-in like Scenic View, but they're teaching those job skills or, depending on the needs of each individual student, these schools are now tailoring to those students, letting you do your voices and your song and be you while helping to get past some of those barriers that you maybe did.
Yeah. When Emma was kind of in that transition, she graduated in 2020. So that was right in the middle of COVID.
Fun.
And that was a challenging time for her to graduate because a lot of schools were online and she had a hard time figuring out the computer. She needed more assistance than what was there. She actually ended up working at DI for 2 years. And that was actually great. And it kind of taught us a lot of things about what Emma could do.
Yeah.
Love the DI. They were really good with her. And they could also kind of see her potential. So they could see that she wasn't someone that needed to work there long term, that she had skills, she had abilities. For one thing, she always got up, got dressed. She always had her stuff ready. She got her lunch ready. So I don't know, like that showed us a lot of good things. And then when we found out about Scenic View, we wrote in right away. And then they wanted her right away. There was a difficult transition period. And if you watch the show, there's a boy who's darling. His name's Dylan. He lives in California.
Mhm.
His mom's a single mom, and he's alone for a lot of the day.
A lot of the
I
time.
was
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, that's got to be a reality for a lot of kids
Yeah.
on the spectrum. Is because the parents don't know what to do with them.
And they have to work.
They need to work, but not a lot of places will help them.
Yeah.
We're lucky here in Salt Lake and Utah that we have the DI, and some places that will take people, work with them, and help them with those adaptive skills that may be weaker because of their autism. The same with NICU. They have work programs, they have classes, they have a lot of things because, like, Emma really has been strong, the performing arts
Yeah.
services that they have. But other kids really like the computers, and they work with those kids with that. It really was such a blessing for us to find Scenic View and for her to go there. We felt like that needed to be spotlighted. So, and she did too, because she's obviously adorable and
Pretty
warm
great.
and very authentic. And I think that's attracting a lot of people to this show is they see how authentic these kids are.
Yeah.
And having a reality show with
Right.
kids that are on the spectrum who are not going to pretend
Right.
or hide.
This isn't acting
Yeah,
or,
this is
you know.
how they are. And people are like, wow, they're really sweet and charming. And we all know that.
Yeah.
All those of us that have been able to have kids on the spectrum or work with kids on the spectrum, we know that they are sweet and charming and wonderful. But
Right.
this is really bringing that to light.
We're now seeing the platforms that you have grow.
Yeah.
I think there's a drive for that. People want to know about our fellow humans.
Yeah.
Right? You mentioned being in the spotlight, Emma. I have to commend you. It is so brave to be willing to sit down, not only on a date and have a camera in your face, but to go on your first date and have cameras all around you. And like your mom said, inviting millions of people to come with you on your first date. What was that like?
I kind of got used to it. Like it was
Yeah.
a little like funny to see a camera follow me everywhere. But I kind of got used to it, you know. And since I'm not really camera shy, it's just kind of like came natural to me, you know? And they help you with conversations, but they kind of just let you say what you want. I mean, but they do guide you with conversations just in case you have awkward silences.
Yeah. You've got Kian over in the corner
Yeah.
to the executive director. Do you maybe want to, do you understand what they just?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like he's such a great support and wants what's best for you and wants
Yeah.
to have a good time.
Yeah.
Something that impressed me about him, he was at every single shoot,
Wow.
every single one.
Wow.
So
I think a lot of executive directors wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. A lot of them don't have the time, but it sounds like he's
It's his
very
priority.
invested.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't do all the editing, but he was at every single shoot.
He knows what's
And he would make you do things over again.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got to
remember
get
that.
used to that.
What was that like kind of?
I got used to it
Yeah.
because, you know, the film, I like studied film my whole life and they do that. They do multiple takes until like they get a really good shot.
Yeah.
It's a reason why we have great movies in the first place because they
Sure.
do multiple takes, and it's why Love on the Spectrum is such a good show because they do multiple takes.
And he's pretty patient and he wants to get it right.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with him in our interactions that I could tell that he really cared about the product.
Yeah.
So
He's making sure you can actually get a word in edgewise when the peacocks
For sure.
at Lakai are wanting to be the star of the show.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny.
The
Yeah.
squawkers, right? Is
The
that what you call them? The
squawkers,
squawker.
I just wanted to be funny, you know, and just because I don't know. To be honest, I don't really like peacocks. You know, I don't really like peacocks. They've always terrified me. You know,
I mean, you get that big plume and you're like,
Yeah.
are you coming at me with those?
kind of like, are you gonna like, you know, attack me? You know, like, you know.
And you're just trying to have a nice conversation and
Yeah.
they just keep inserting themselves in the conversation. That's just not nice.
I kind of got used to squawking, you
Yeah.
know, because it's funny because I'm a sensory avoider, you
Mhm.
know, and sometimes loud sounds irritate me.
Sure.
Mainly dogs barking.
Okay.
That's what really scared me as a kid. I like every time when a dog barked, I would be like,
Yeah.
I hear that.
yeah.
Every time we would go to a new house that she wasn't familiar with, she would always say, Mom, Do they have a dog? She was, and we pretty much, like, when she was 3, I took her trick-or-treating, and then again when she was 4, and then I was like, why am I doing this?
Why am I not
traumatizing her? She doesn't want to go trick-or-treating. She's too scared of the dogs, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's easier to just buy a bag of candy, hang out.
yeah, I
watch
should.
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. You have to learn those things as parents. Like, why am I making my kid go trick-or-treating when it's not enjoyable for her? Like, just was too scared that the dogs are going to bark, you know?
Yeah.
And she was also scared of the scary things,
Scary
that-
costumes.
things that people have on their porch that make scary noises. That was, those were really hard. For Emma.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because until Nightmare came into my life, I was always terrified of Halloween, you know? But then, like, once my cousin showed Nightmare Before Christmas to me, I was like, oh, so bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Just gotta find the right side of Halloween.
It just goes to show you that I'm more of a spooky Halloween person, not a scary Halloween person, because I've
Same.
always hated horror films. Like, I've never liked them, ever.
Yeah.
Probably because of the gore and the jump scares. And I feel like it's anxiety and empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and have something jumping at me and make me anxious for 2 hours.
I know. But however, I did like a lot of other things with Halloween. Like, I loved the Michael Jackson Thriller music video.
Obviously, cinematic classic.
Cinematic classic. Yeah. Like, you know.
And she loves dressing up.
Yeah, it's
She likes
true.
the creativity of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, she came back around to trick-or-treating when she was like 10. But I just didn't make her go after I figured out. I'm like, I'm just traumatizing her. I don't know why. This is not fun for her.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know better, you do better. But like, yeah.
No,
You never
it's
know
all
until you
good.
try, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you tried being on this show.
Mhm.
How do you think it went overall?
I think it went pretty good, actually, because it got me where I needed to be, you know, and it got me more exposed in film, which is what I want, you know, and branch out with dating, which is also another thing that I desire too. So it had 2 factors to motivate me.
So they've announced that there will be a season 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be on season 5?
We'll see, because
Okay.
it hasn't asked me yet, but they
Okay.
asked me unofficially, you know, because I feel like they're like casting their people already,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
So-
it sounds like they move pretty quickly.
Yeah. They have to find new people.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. They're always looking for
Yeah.
new
But
people.
we got to have our favorites that are coming
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
too. You know, you got Danny from season 1. And we have to have Emma back. I think that, and I think that's what the people want. The people want to see more of it.
I think that a lot of people that talk to me about the show, they're like, we loved seeing the places that she went to because we have so many pretty
Oh yeah,
places in Utah. A lot of people were like, "Wow, Utah is so pretty."
Yeah.
She got to go to some really cool
the Tulip
locations.
Festival,
Yeah.
that was gorgeous, except for the big windstorm that tried to ruin your day.
Yeah.
Minus the windstorm, it was
Yeah.
okay, you know?
So do you get recognized from the show now? You
Oh,
said
no.
you said your
All the
socials
time.
like up to here.
All the time, yeah. Like, a few times over the weekend, I got like young girls like coming up to me and be like, are you? Well, but it's okay with it because, you know, I love people, you know, and I gave them hugs and stuff and I took pictures with them. So far, the attention hasn't bothered me yet.
Good.
So,
Well, it's practice, right?
Yeah,
You
it
want to
is
be in
practice.
film.
yeah, it is
So-
practice. The celebrity treatment that
Yeah.
I've always wanted to meet celebrities. So it's like the other way around.
Yeah. You're on the other side of the red carpet.
I know. It's weird.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's really fun. So,
Well, I know we've talked about this a little bit. Liz, you in particular have mentioned the importance of the show and bringing awareness. Emma, I'd love to hear from you as well. What message do you hope that this show brings?
I just want to say that there's always hope for someone on the spectrum. You know, you could just think of like your autism as a blessing and not a curse. Because if you thought of it as a curse, like you wouldn't get the opportunities you would receive. Like, take me, for example, you know, like I wouldn't be on Love on the Spectrum if I thought my autism was a curse.
It makes you who you are. It's part of your personality. And like we were discussing, you have to embrace the best parts of you. And, you know, some people are quiet, some people are loud, some people are in between, and you just gotta be you.
That is true. Yeah.
I love that.
It makes the world more interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
My world is more interesting having A, watch the show, and B, having the opportunity to sit down and talk to you.
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
personally am very.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So you went to a few of our schools here in Canyons. You went to Park Lane, Mount Jordan, and then Brighton. How did your time at Canyons help you to become the person that you are?
I feel like middle school is when the point where I started to grow confidence. I know that's kind of like hard to say because like that's middle school is where we have our most insecure years.
Yeah.
You know,
it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah, it is terrifying. But, you know, I still did like talent shows, performed, did what I loved, you know, and I feel like in a way it kind of helped me grow confident, you know, like, you know, I like faced some heartbreaks, you know, a breakup, a brutal breakup, you know, but in a way it kind of made me stronger and be like, you know what, after leaving middle school, I was like, I feel like my future is going to get a lot better than this.
Yeah. Middle school is not the foundation. It's just to get you going where you want to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is. And when I entered high school, like, you know, kids were a lot nicer, more inclusive. I didn't really worry about drama too much. And mostly I steered clear of that because I just don't like to get into people's drama because like it kind of drains you, you know?
You'd rather do the drama on the stage.
Yes, that's right. Save the drama for the stage in real life.
Exactly.
I felt like there were a lot of really nice kids at Brighton. Because we have my son, Preston, who you didn't see on the show. He's also on the spectrum. And he's on a mission right now in Los Angeles. And that's why you didn't see him on the show. But like there were a lot of nice kids at Brighton. And a lot of times when you see on Love on the Spectrum, Kian will ask him, have you ever been on a date? And they almost always say no. Yeah. But Emma had been on lots of dates.
It's true. I have.
And they were more friend dates, but she got invited to the dances.
Yeah.
She felt like she was really a part of things at Brighton High School.
Yeah, it's true.
And the other thing, she was a homecoming princess. Yeah.
Excuse you.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I should have had you bring your crown.
Well, she actually, don't you have it in the car?
I do have it in the car.
She actually got the car because she's going to do a music video. She's like, I better bring this to Scenic View.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. She had a lot of opportunities at Brighton and a lot of teachers that really saw her talents and her abilities. She was in all of the school plays and all the musicals.
Yeah, it's true.
And Mindy Curtis was
we love Mindy.
Really amazing with Emma.
Yes.
And Angie Meredith has been extremely supportive of Emma. Mrs. Meredith, she really saw how smart Emma was and she really honed into that. Yeah. And then she had this fascination with the stage and they really they let her be a part of everything. So I mean, she had a great experience at Brighton High School and a lot of people that really saw the great things about her. And it takes a village.
It does.
But we really have a nice community here.
Yeah.
And we have a nice community. We had a lot of nice neighbors in Cottonwood Heights that were very positive with Emma too.
Yeah. To be honest, at Brighton, I was scared I wasn't going to make any friends. And then I was kind of really in a dark place. And then the next day I met my friend Monet, who is helping me.
She's been a great friend with her ever since they first met.
Yes. It was one of the greatest blessings I've ever had.
I love when you get that friendship out of school that just stays with you.
Yes.
And you meet them instantly. You're like, okay, you're my person.
Yeah.
Because in high school, some of us kind of lose touch. But, but it's nice that social media kind of helps you keep in touch nowadays. You know, back when mom was in school, it wasn't like that.
We didn't have that. We had to write phone numbers in our notebooks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Tags,
true.
have a good summer.
Yeah, that's true, But Monet is actually one of my high school friends that's kept in touch with me for almost 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really...
And she's helping us with the social media now too, which is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be a struggle, especially if you're trying to keep up with the content.
Yeah. It is a little overwhelming. But.
Yeah.
Speaking of high schools, it's May. and some of our seniors are graduating in, a matter of days. Emma, what advice you're already on track to where you want to be, right? You've graduated, you're in school, you're working, you're already a star, you're one step closer to the red carpet. What advice would you have for our graduating seniors?
Just be open to opportunities, because you never know what's out there.
Yeah.
And just always be brave to take risks. Yeah. It's always good to take risks, because you never know where you can end up. And for my brother, take all the opportunities you can get.
Awesome. Yeah. I know you're both so busy with, again, all of the success from the show, hopefully preparing for the next season. Yeah. So I want to thank you both so much for taking the time to come out here and chat with us and share your story. And I hope Love on the Spectrum leads to your first Emmy.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they've won Emmys.
Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for both of you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for listening. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed on the podcast, send us an email to communications@canyonsdistrict.org.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Connect Canyons. Connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram @Canyons District, or on our website, canyonsdistrict.org.